Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Vice President Leni is looking to add at least 2 more senatorials to her slate. Former Congressman Teddy Baguila told Philstar that Robredo is in talks with Neri Colmenares and Sonny Matula. Colmenares served as Bayan Muna representative, while Matula is the president of the Federation of Free Workers. Both have confirmed this, but said that nothing is definite yet. Robredo had initially released a list of senatorial bets for the 2022 elections, consisting of 5 names, including Baguilat. Senators want some hospitals to stop accommodating COVID-19 patients and instead focus on being a specialized health facility. To tell us more, we have Mean Los Baños joining us live from Pasig City. Mean, hello. Which COVID referral hospitals are we talking about here?
Hi, Sean. Good afternoon. Senators want the National Kidney and Transplant Institute and the Philippine Heart Center to stop functioning as COVID referral facilities, and they want these 2 to go back to their primary purpose. In today's Senate hearing, Senators Nancy Binay and Pia Cayetano pointed out that NKTI and PHC should be catering to specific health problems. Since hospitals have already made adjustments to accommodate COVID-19 patients, these facilities should no longer serve as COVID referral centers. NKTI Director Dr. Rosemary Riquetes said that the number of transplant patients decreased amid the pandemic as most of them are scared to go back to the hospital. By March, the facility has accepted more transplant patients. However, some donors or recipients are COVID positive, so the NKTI must still attend to them. Senator Cayetano believes that they should only cater to patients with renal problems, which the hospital agreed to. For its part, the PHC also observed a decline in surgeries and procedures as they began to cater to COVID patients as well. Meanwhile, the NKTI, Sean, is asking for an additional 605 million peso budget. Other agencies under DOH, like the National Nutrition Council and the Philippine Institute for Additional and Alternative Healthcare, are also asking for additional funds. Sean, the hearing for the budget of the Department of Health is still underway, and the senators are expected to ask questions about the COVID response of the country, the vaccine rollout, and also the recent issue on the overpriced medical supplies. Sean?
All right, thank you so much for that update. That was Mean Los Baños reporting to us live from Pasig City. Thanks, man. Meanwhile, the National Telecommunications Commission has ordered online shopping sites to stop selling machines that can text blast. The NTC says the importation, manufacture, and sale of such equipment are in violation of the radio control law. The Commission is also asking Shopee, Lazada, and Facebook Marketplace for a written explanation within 15 days on why these types of equipment are readily available. The Commission earlier launched an investigation into an emergency text blast regarding Bongbong Marcos's presidential bid. And severe tropical storm Maring has caused around 608 million pesos worth of damage to agriculture. Based on data from the Department of Agriculture, more than 29,000 farmers and fishermen across 6 regions were affected. Some 32,800 hectares of land in northern Luzon were likewise damaged. Affected commodities include rice, corn, high-value crops, livestock, and fisheries. The DA said it will provide a quick response fund of 172 million pesos, as well as rice and corn bags for affected residents. We'll be back with more stories after this short break. Stay with us here on One News. watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. A game-changing COVID-19 pill is now up for review at the US FDA. The oral medication is expected to lessen hospitalization risk by half. Jen Calimon with the story.
American pharmaceutical company Merck and Ridgeback Biotherapeutics have recently announced their application for an emergency use authorization for the first COVID-19 pill, molnupiravir. The pill offers treatment to COVID patients with mild to moderate symptoms.
So nakikita na natin kagad na habang maaga pa at sisimula na yung sakit, doon maganda pumasok itong gamot na to para pigilin yung pag-replicate o pag-multiply ng virus para hindi na lumala. At wag sana umabot na mapa-hospital tayo. Siyempre, na-hospital lang yung mga komplikado na, no?
Based on clinical trials, molnupiravir can decrease hospitalization risks by 50%. Out of over 700 patients in the trial, 14% of placebo-treated patients either died or were hospitalized, while 7.3% of those who took the pill were hospitalized. 27 Filipino patients participated in the study, and Merck said the results were no different from trials conducted in other countries. Results of the trials have been submitted for review to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
No matter the geography of the person, kahit anong lahi man siya, halos parehong effect ng gamot sa mga different races.
Infectious disease experts and DOH vaccine expert panel member Dr. Ron Jean Solantes said the pill could be a game changer in the world's battle against COVID-19.
Why is it a game changer? Some of them are saying it's a game changer because intervention earlier will also make patients lower risk for death. Okay, more or less lower risk for death because you'll not be needing hospitalization. You'll not be needing more closer monitoring and the complications.
As of now, molnupiravir has not been given an EUA in the Philippines, but it can be accessed through compassionate use. Experts said the Philippines could have an advantage in terms of access to the drug and proper use, since there were Filipino patients in its trials.
We're very excited, of course, if the US FDA already gives approval for the emergency use authorization, because that would potentially trigger every other regulatory body tulad natin to start really looking seriously at whether or not pwede na tayo rin mag-emergency use authorization.
Merck is now in talks with at least 8 pharmaceutical companies for the production and distribution of molnupiravir in other countries. Despite this breakthrough, experts are still encouraging the public to get vaccinated against COVID-19. Reporting for News 5, Jen Calimon, We Are One News.
An immunologist explains how at-home COVID tests can help countries beat the virus. The details in this Bloomberg Quick Take.
It's been so hard in this pandemic to know that we had a tool before the vaccines existed that could have actually saved hundreds of thousands of lives. It's going to be very accurate to let me know, am I a risk to the people around me when I get onto the bus or the train into my office or before or when I get to school. So rapid antigen tests are fast. They are very sensitive for infectious individuals to answer the question, am I infectious? And whether you're symptomatic or asymptomatic, it doesn't matter. The test doesn't care about your symptoms. It only cares about how transmissible you are and how much virus you have. Most of the rapid antigen tests are using a simple nasal swab, which isn't one of the deep ones. It's just it's one that just goes in the front of your nose as though you're picking your nose with a swab, essentially. So they don't hurt. And it's just capturing the virus on the swab if it's there. It's identical, essentially, to the type of technology we use in pregnancy tests. Most of where my interest has been how do we use these as public health tools? And in that domain, we have 2 uses. One is what I call entrance screening, and one is outbreak suppression screening. entrance screening is kind of what it sounds like. It's like a bouncer at the door before you go into an event. It is the thing that keeps the school classroom safe. And the way it works is you use the test before you enter into an event or building. That is a very powerful tool to get the economy back running, keep schools open. But then the most important way that we can use these tests from an epidemiological framework is to actually stop the outbreaks from even arising in the first place. If we can stop outbreaks from getting big, then everyone is safer, regardless of if you're vaccinated or testing on a regular basis. I've just been banging the drum about this really simple tool that, frankly, could have prevented the outbreaks of last winter. It could have prevented the outbreaks of this year, and it could have, especially when we had no vaccines, it could have saved hundreds of thousands of lives.
Here's a quick look at today's other top stories. A record high 9 out of 10 Filipinos are worried about contracting COVID-19 based on the latest SWS survey. Compared to previous surveys, worry about catching COVID-19 is much greater than that of catching other viruses such as Ebola, swine flu, bird flu, and SARS. Severe tropical storm Maring has left the Philippine area of responsibility, but it is still enhancing the southwest monsoon or habagat. State Weather Bureau Pag-asa says this will continue to bring rains over Bataan, Zambales, Occidental Mindoro, and Palawan. The U.S. and Taliban had a dialogue on humanitarian assistance for Afghanistan. According to the U.S. State Department, the two-day meeting in Qatar also involved officials from the intelligence community. State Department spokesman Ned Price said these talks also focused on security and terrorism concerns, as well as human rights. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.